and try and make the challenge.
Johnston did well to keep that in. It was wayward from Incham.
I was just saying how the surface looked really good, but in the opening 10 minutes or so, whether it's the actual ball or the surface, but whatever is the issue, the ball is bouncing about a lot. You see just simple passes. It seems to be very lively and bouncing around a lot and difficult to keep it on the deck.
That's brilliant play again from Incham. Looked to play in Dembele. Just let that run past him so cleverly, and suddenly he was into a really dangerous area. But lively is the word for the way the ball is sometimes bobbling around, and it's a night to be watchful when the ball's coming towards you.
Yeah, well, just when Olivier Incham dropped the shoulder and ran past the defender there, and he plays that infield pass, again, that's bouncing up as he makes the pass, and that's half the reason why he misses Dembele with the 10-yard pass.
Gamboa darting inside to make sure he got on the end of that from Simunovic. Incham and Forrest. That's good play from Celtic. Gamboa, just a little breakdown in communication there with Forrest. He was static as Christian Gamboa played that towards the byline. The Croatian keeper Kardum throws it out, cushioned down by Švrljuga. The number 11 for Suduva. Good challenge, Kieran Tierney. Well, he reckoned he got the ball. Free kick given.
First view, and I think it's a free kick. I think the referee makes the right call. Yep, you see that Kieran Tierney doesn't get a touch on the ball before he actually fills the Croatian wing back.
Yeah, Švrljuga will be a top scorer in Scrabble. Craig Gordon still to be worked in the match. Slavickas with the free kick! And there's the equaliser. Verbickas with the header in the 13th minute. Gordon came to collect and didn't get there, and it's 1-1.
Well, Rob, that is absolutely pathetic defending from Celtic. It's a long cross in, and for Verbickas to be able to make that run round the back completely unmarked and drop in between the defence and goalkeeper and nod it at the back of the net unopposed is just not good enough. Simply not good enough, Rob. And all the good work of the opening 12 minutes is undone by Celtic shooting themselves in the foot.
Just as I was saying that Craig Gordon had nothing to do at all in the game, suddenly the ball's in the back of the net, and Celtic will feel they've conceded that really cheaply.
Of course they will. There's absolutely no doubt, because they have conceded it cheaply. It's not a bad ball, but it's not the sort of ball where you think it's really dangerous. It's simple marking. Verbickas gets round the back into a dangerous area, completely unopposed, and I'm sure there'll be a few questions being asked of the players as to who is picking them up.
Celtic were running the show for all 12 minutes, and suddenly they find themselves pegged back at 1-1. Here goes Johnston, looks to lift things again with a good ball in. Cleared by Gajducic. And it's so important now that Celtic regain control of the game. But that goal will undoubtedly give a lift to the home team.
It'll give a lift to the home team, there's no doubt about it, but what it also does is it starts to undermine the belief of the Celtic players as well, because as I said earlier on, there's a little bit of fragility there. And when you concede sloppy goals like that, it just continues to just cut away at that belief that the good start will have made. For Celtic, keep getting the ball wide. You've seen so far that James Forrest on the right hand side, he's got Slavickas and his sights, he's got the better of him, and down the near side here with Mikey Johnson up against Suduva, the same thing. Keep feeding those wide men.
Dembele, then Cham, McGregor. Now Tierney. Shimunovic. Gamboa does well to win that against Slavickas. And now opportunity knocking. Forrest with the cut back. It's spun in the air dangerously for a moment off Slavickas. But in the end it's taken by Khartoum, the goalkeeper. Celtic will be so angry with themselves that a game they've pretty much dominated from kick-off is all squared at 1-1. Scott Brown with a long ball. Moussa Dembele scrapping to get on the end of it. McGregor's header. Johnston flicks it back for Tierney. Mikey Johnson, anything but overawed on his first start in European football. Very impressive. And you just sense something's going to happen every time he's on the ball. Christopher Ayer, the 20-year-old Norwegian, key figure at the back for Celtic. Svyrluga clears up to Cecilia, who's out-muscled against Ayer. You can just see there's so much more belief now about the Lithuanian league leaders, Suduva, and their supporters on the back of that equaliser, because they were being completely outplayed until they equalised.
It just gives them that extra yard, that extra bit of belief that they can get something. So when they're going to close players down, it's just done with a greater intensity and the tempo's lifted.
Shimunovic to Gamboa. Tierney hits it long for McGregor. Can keep this in. Callum McGregor does so. Great touch, James Forrest. Great strike. Great save.
That is a really good save from Ivan Khartoum in the Suduva goals. As James Forrest, as the ball comes in here from Callum McGregor, takes a wonderful first touch and a really good second. Khartoum gets down to his right-hand side with that save. It looked as if it was going to nestle in the bottom corner, but the Croatian goalkeeper, Khartoum, was able to pull off a big save for his side.
Johnston with the corner kick. Brown trying to flick it on. This is Ayer. The referee's whistle has gone. Well, James Forrest was entitled to think he was scoring there, because he couldn't have done much better. Two great touches, one to control it. The left foot shot was away from the keeper, and Ivan Khartoum has made a really good save there. Cecilia's layoff. Brown on the end of it, breaking things up for Celtic. So influential, the Celtic captain. But Christian Gamboa couldn't get control of that pass.
Slightly concerning thing there was that when Scott Brown picked the ball up with lots of space, there was very few options for him. You know, eventually he drives into the space that was in front of him, but even then he had to try and manufacture a pass to Christian Gamboa. Should have been able to make it and complete it, but you know, this Celtic side under Brendan Rodgers is one of the big hallmarks. Is plenty of options on the ball, lots of angles being made, 3-4 options, short passes, longer ones too. There wasn't a great deal there, and that's something that I think has started to slip into the game. It comes with the confidence being knocked slightly as well, that the options start to dry up when you're on the ball.
Jankauskas squares it for Gajducic. It's a central defensive three for Suduva. And you would have to say that the Lithuanian champions have done precious little in the game, really. And they find themselves on level terms just about midway through the first half. Johnston lays it off. McGregor's header. And no free kick. Cecilia twice trying to prod the ball forward. And it's cleared by Kieran Tierney.
Just looks a little bit, I'm not 100% sure what Svrl Yuga's trying to suggest there. Throws himself at the deck, but as he broke forward there was gaps in the back line. You know, a bit concerning. There was some runners coming through from midfield, and fortunately for Celtic they weren't picked out. But you know, it's so important that Celtic don't gift away anything else.
That's good work from Tierney, nipping the ball off the toes of Finkler, the Brazilian midfielder, and Cham, who gave Celtic that dream start. Heading in the cross from Johnston.
That's great play from Cham. Good footwork in the middle of the park in the tight area.
Gamboa and Forrest combining. The Costa Rican international Gamboa. All the way across for Tierney. Sets off. And he's got himself into a great area. Kieran Tierney, can he create something here? Flapped up by Cardoom, but got it clear of the danger zone.
I think Cal McGregor was just on the penalty spot area for the cutback. Kieran Tierney just tried to get it dinked up. I think the cutback to the penalty spot was on.
As Gamboa's cross. Svrluga with the header clear. That's a mistake. And Gamboa finds Forrest. Can he keep it alive for Brown? And now Tierney. Lots of white shirts to get through. That's in Cham. And Jankauskas with the clearing header for Suduva. The second leg is next Thursday at Celtic Park. A scoreline like this would be very much workable going into that home game, but because of Celtic's superiority here, looking for more than that. Forrest lifts it in for Johnston. What a chance for Mikey Johnston.
Yeah, it was a good chance. It was a really good worked attack there from Celtic. Eventually spinning out wide with a lovely weighted pass from Cham. And James Forrest just trying to lift it up to the back post area for Mikey Johnson coming in. You can expect that the type of player Mikey Johnson is, that heading's not going to be one of his strongest attributes, and so it appeared there. It just didn't look like there was a great deal of conviction in the header, but a good move nonetheless.
Yeah, had to be looking to direct that back across the goalkeeper, Cardoom, into the far corner. That was presumably what he was trying to do, but it went straight at Cardoom. It was a bread and butter save for the Suduva keeper, Johnston having been well set up by Forrest. James Forrest, the supplier that time. He also had that terrific left foot shot saved by the goalkeeper.
You see it here, Mikey Johnson just getting round the back. It's a good pick out, but as I said, just lacking that bit of conviction that was needed to bullet it past Cardoom. Lovely weighted cross from James Forrest just to stand it up here for Mikey Johnson to go and attack it, but you see there, there's not a great deal of conviction. It doesn't pick out the space either side of the goalkeeper, but you know what? It's a good one just to start to get that feel back for Celtic that they can go and cut open the Lithuanian defence.
Yeah, he wandered in unmarked there, Johnston, in the end of that cross. Plenty of players in the box for Suduva, none of them really too active in trying to stop the youngster getting that opportunity. And one thing Celtic can't complain about here is creating opportunities, creating chances. They've had plenty, one taken so far. Johnston with Tierney getting beyond him, but unable to wrap his left boot around that. Scott Sinclair and Lee Griffiths and Emilio Izagiri there among the Celtic substitutes. Izagiri, who played his first game back in his second spell as a Celtic player at the weekend. Just allowing Brendan Rodgers to give Tierney a break.
Yeah, from that perspective, it's a sensible signing, because you can't expect Kieran Tierney to go and play. I mean, I think it was almost 60 games last season.
He missed very few, yeah.
To do that, season after season at such a young age as well, it puts a lot of miles on the clock. So Emilio Izagiri coming in is a sensible signing, because he's somebody that can come in and deputise for Kieran Tierney when needs be.
Again in charm, gets beyond Forrest. Brown in charm. And Limonas with the clearance for Suduva. Cecilia chasing, and he's stopped by Šiminović. They haven't really carried a whole lot of threat in open play, Suduva, and Celtic will be so disappointed to concede at the set piece.
It's one of the few occasions that they've actually been in Celtic's half, Rob, to get that free kick that they scored from. So, yes, bitterly disappointed is how Celtic will be feeling.
Great play again from Johnston. Quick feet inside the box. And his prodded shot is blocked. But he is a really lively presence for Celtic on that left side. Šiminović steps forward. Callum McGregor. And Celtic continue to dominate this game. But they want the appropriate scoreline to go with it in the end. A rare touch of the ball for Craig Gordon in goals, returning tonight. Scott Bain having played at the weekend. Forrest tucks the ball back for Gamboa. likes to carry the ball out of defence, Christopher Ayer. I'd like to see the percentage possession stats. As Celtic continue to have as much of the ball as they want. Here goes Ayer. Christopher Ayer, what a chance! And all that was missing was the finishing touch. Superb play from the defender in a tight situation, and in the end, a disappointing effort.
Well, at first he gets in Callum McGregor's way, and you're thinking, what on earth are you doing up there? Once he's here he is, he's right in Callum McGregor's way, but the footwork is sensational. I mean, if he finds the back of the net there, then what a goal that is from the Norwegian centre-half. Look at this. Wonderful footwork. But just right at the end, he chokes the shot. And it just gets the block. There's a slight block on it from, I think it's Sverluga. And it ends up just comfortably in Cardoom's hands. But, yeah, got in Callum McGregor's way to begin with, and then almost pulled off a sensational goal for Celtic.
It's hot work in Lithuania, and some of the players are getting some fluids on board. What a goal that would have been had he managed to place the shot either side of Cardoom rather than straight at the goalkeeper. Brendan Rodgers would have appreciated that very un-centre-back-like play inside the opposition penalty box. Brown's header. And Cham. He just seems to cruise through games at times, the French midfielder. That's loose from Gamboa. Passing needs to be better. That was a push by Incham. Free kick given. Just 13 minutes away from half-time. It's 1-1. And if you've just switched on, Olivier Incham giving Celtic the dream start, cancelled down by Verbickas. But here goes Johnston. Rolls it on to Forrest. A deflection on the cross. Tierney, Brown. Now McGregor. Can they get themselves in front again, Celtic? Jankowskis with the clearance for Suduva.
Oh, the referee, he's so slow with that. Blowing the whistle there. It seems as if he's swayed by the crowd.
Scott Brown giving a demonstration afterwards of how high he reckoned his boot was there. Not very high would be his assessment.
Well, look, I think that, you know, the boot is high, but it's the way that the referee takes so long, and the Suduva player's rolling about, or he's sitting on the ground as if he's been hit in the head, and I don't think there was contact. Okay, the referee thinks the boot's high, and there's justification perhaps, but it takes so long to make the call.
Yeah. It was a moment to get Brendan Rodgers out of the dugout, where he's been fairly happily sitting for most of this first half. The only moment to trouble him, that free kick, which saw Verbickas heading in from the Slavickas delivery. Poor Celtic defending. It's been the one black spot in a very positive first half performance. But every reason for Celtic to believe here that they can win this first leg emphatically. They've been emphatically the better team. Here goes Johnston. Inside and then out. Still going. He's got real persistence about him, apart from the obvious close control and skills. He's disappointed there that he didn't get that into the box, but he has won a corner kick. Again, that's really good play from Mikey Johnson. Showing he believes he can go and get the better of the defenders. And the interesting thing about the youngster is he's clearly not physically the strongest, but he's wily and he's got good balance. So even when it looks like he's been marshalled away from goal or he's been cut off, he's able to get himself
past the defender and get into some dangerous areas.
Johnston with the corner kick. Deflected off the Lithuanian head. McGregor works a 1-2. And he's off and running. Dembele. Oh, dinked in for McGregor. It was a lovely ball from Moussa Dembele. McGregor denied.
This is an absolutely brilliant through ball from Dembele, and it would have been an extremely unexpected goal if that had managed to slide past the goalkeeper, Cardum. There's good reactions from the goalkeeper because Cal McGregor gets a good bit of contact on that.
McGregor with the corner kick. Jumping under it, Shiminovic. That's Forrest on the volley and always too high.
The difficulty with that one was that when it came to James Forrest, he was on his heels once he took the first touch. Very difficult to get over the ball because he was on his heels, and eventually as he makes the strike it drifts over the crossbar.
The Suduva striker Cecilia. The Celtic throw. Brown channels the ball back towards Craig Gordon. Well, it's a scoreline which certainly does not tell you the story of a first half which Celtic have dominated.
But this just goes to show you that the importance of having a backline that doesn't throw away silly goals. You know, for all the good play that Celtic have had, it's undone by a moment of slack defending, and it puts a completely different slant on this game. You know, if Celtic had performed the way they had in this first half and were going in 1-0 up at half-time, then, yeah, they'd be a little bit disappointed they hadn't made more than the one goal. But at 1-1, it's very disappointing.
It's certainly a result for Suduva at the moment to be so outplayed in the first half and yet to still be on level terms. And we've just about 7 minutes left of the first half. Good ball winning from Olivier Ncham. Chadenovic with the ball down the line. And that was Sviorluga with the run.
Really good defending from Kieran Tierney. You see second best here, the determination to get in and block the cross. And he doesn't just give away a corner, he gets the by kick for his side. Really good defending.
Mikael Lustig and Tom Rogic in the foreground beside Scott Bain on the bench for Celtic. If you switched on late, you certainly missed the early strike from Olivier Ncham. His header from Mikey Johnston's cross, cancelled out though in the 13th minute. A goal which will give Celtic nightmares when they look back on it. Verbickas making it 1-1. Tierney's header. That's Brown. Ayer. Verbickas writhing around on the deck.
Well, I'm not 100% sure why the referee's blown the whistle here, because it's not a head injury. Celtic are in possession. And the referee's blown the whistle, but he doesn't look particularly in a hurry to get any physios on. I mean, what is going on?
I think that's what Scott Brown's asking as well. Well, will this go any closer to clearing it up? No.
This is crazy. Crazy stuff.
It must have been a delayed reaction, because he certainly didn't seem to be troubled initially, and it was he that was barging into the back of Scott Brown.
That's ludicrous from the referee, absolutely ludicrous. Celtic are in possession, there's no head injury. He then blows the whistle and he doesn't even get the physios on, and eventually Verbickas gets up, which was a shock.
The indecision was final. 4 minutes away from half-time in Lithuania. Suduva 1, Celtic 1. Can Brendan Rodgers' team get what they reckon they deserve before the interval? And that is back in front.
Just that clinical edge Celtic are missing at the moment, be it in attack or defence, with regards to, I mean, look at that, that's slack from Ayer. It's not a difficult pass.
Really poor Limonas intercepting, and then he got a horrific touch and gave the ball straight back. And now Celtic have got a free kick. Forrest chasing that return pass from Encham. That was well defended by Shimunovic. McGregor. On the retreat, Tierney. Celtic missing out on the glamour of the Champions League this season, but were they to get to the group stages of this Europa League competition, there could well be glamour games to come, because some of the teams they might come up against further down the line would be the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, AC Milan. But it's about getting across one hurdle at a time. Tierney steps inside. Scott Brown's pass intercepted by Svir, but he couldn't keep it in. 90 seconds left of this first 45 minutes. This tie will be settled over 2 legs, but every reason to think that it could be sorted out tonight in Lithuania.
If that is to be the case, then Celtic need to be more clinical.
Tierney's cross, prodded away by Jankauskas. Scott Brown popular wherever he goes. Tierney. One last chance for Johnston to make something happen. McGregor and Brown, and that's a foul surely. Crazy challenge by Cecilia, and he's just handed Celtic a set-piece opportunity here as we head into stoppage time at the end of the first half.
Interesting to see who the Celtic players fancies their chances. Olivier Cham stepping away, perhaps just a little bit too far out for the Frenchman. This could be the last kick of the ball in the first half, and what a great chance, a great opportunity.
It's Moussa Dembele for Celtic, and it's on target, but it was never going to find its way past even Cardoum. The referee has a look at his watch, and you would imagine that is just about that in this first half.
The intensity in Celtic's games just started to drop slightly as the first half's gone on. Getting the second goal was very important just to lift everything.
That's well won by McGregor, and that will be the half-time whistle. Satisfaction for Celtic in that they've dominated Jampoli in the south of Lithuania. Suduva 1, Celtic 1 is the half-time scoreline in this playoff round, which leads to the Europa League group stages. The pleasure for Celtic will come from a dominant first-half performance against the Lithuanian champions, the current league leaders in that country as well. The disappointment is the scoreline. It could have been 3-0 Celtic. It is 1-1 after a pretty bad lapse defensively for Brendan Rodgers' team in a first half in which they've been cruising.
Yeah, they have. There's no question of it. But you know, to go in 1-1, there will be a disappointment in the changing room. But at the same time, they've got to look at the bigger picture and think that Celtic are in a very good position to get into the group stages, and they should be going out here in the second half and looking to exert that dominance and convert it into a victory, because they're more than capable of it. You know, when you're going back to the goal that they've lost, it's a very, very poor goal, and criticising Christian Gamboa, Craig Gordon in goals as well has got to be more commanding. There was plenty of space between the defence and the goalkeeper to come out and deal with the cross. So it's all round a very, very disappointing goal to lose, but Celtic have got more than enough to go and put Suduva to the sword here and score numerous goals in the second half.
We just got a glimpse there of Mikey Johnston. We've seen more than a glimpse of him in the course of that first half. He's been outstanding. Here comes a change for Suduva right at the start of the second half. Off has gone Finkler, and it's Daniel Offenbacher who replaces him. The Austrian is a half-time switch for Vladimir Cheburin, the Suduva head coach. Off and running again then in the second half. And Celtic would love to think, with fairly strong reason, that this tie could be put to bed right here rather than bothering about the second leg in Glasgow. They want to be starting this second half the way they opened up in the first. Out of the blocks and ahead after a little more than 2 minutes. They'll be disappointed with the goal they've conceded. They'll be disappointed as well with chances not taken so far But you would imagine the way this game has gone so far, there will be plenty more opportunities to come.
Yeah, I can't imagine that the game's going to completely flip on its head, and Celtic are not going to be creating any chances in this second half. At the same time, the concern for Celtic is defensively. It has been for a long time, and more so now than ever. The team is conceding sloppy goals. You look at the AEK Athens game, and all 3 goals that were conceded were disappointing defensively, and it's happened again tonight.
That was Johnston almost bursting through the middle. The powerful Dembele, great run from Moussa Dembele. Just ran out of room in the end as he chased what looked like a lost cause.
As that's touch on the edge of the box there, you see it bouncing up, and it's very difficult to run at pace like that. Moussa Dembele showed real power to get past, and looked as if he was going to be able to get him behind, but the ball is just too far in front of him, and very difficult to keep it under control when it's bouncing around like that.
It's a small crowd, not much atmosphere. You have to create your own intensity, haven't you?
That's why it's even, you know, I keep going back to this, but it's why it's so important not to gift things away, because it takes such effort to lift things again. It takes a lot of intensity out of it when you're going from a position of strength and undermining yourself by allowing Suduva to get back into the game.
That header from Shimunovic, dropping at the feet of Bichkas, and a chance opening up for Svirliuga. I think he fell awkwardly, Jozo Shimunovic.
Well, he's holding his right ankle. The concern is that he's landed on his right ankle and twisted it when he's come down.
Yeah, I think you just saw it happen there. You saw it happening. And what Celtic don't need is another central defensive injury. Jack Hendry ruled out of this game, and Dedrick Boyata felt he was unable to travel. Mikael Lustig is on the bench, and he could certainly play that position.
Well, he might have to, because they're short in numbers there, unless Jozo Shimunovic can shake this off and continue to play. But it just continues to make a mockery of the transfer window that Celtic have had so far, and the situation that Dedrick Boyata has put the club in. Obviously, we saw Celtic making a bid for young Scott McKenna in the last couple of days. It just smacks of a little bit of desperation to me, Rob, that it's almost like, yep, we've made a bid, Aberdeen have knocked it back, we're not interested anymore. The chances of getting Scott McKenna out the contract at Aberdeen were very, very slim, and Aberdeen quite rightly looking for a lot of money if that was going to happen. And, I'm pretty sure Brendan Rodgers would have had his targets earlier in the window, and they've not been able to do their business quick enough.
Cecilia's pass intercepted by McGregor. Just seeing Izagiri warming up there, of course, that would be another option for Celtic. They could bring on Izagiri and play Tierney's central defence. There's plenty they can do, but they certainly don't want another injury to a defender. And the indication seems to be that Shimunovic will be okay to continue. Still off the pitch, though. Well, we did speak about the bounce of the ball, the bobble at times. You have to be fully concentrated. And that one got away from Gamboa.
It just makes it difficult when you're trying to play quick one-touch football and you're unable to predict where the ball is about to land.
Just wondering about Šimunović. The longer he's not back on the pitch, the Lithuanian TV director hasn't really been willing to give us any close-ups to give us a clue. Good ball from Ncham.
It's a lovely crossfield pass, isn't it? He sets up Mikey Johnson.
Reverse pass for Dembele. There's been only one team playing quality football tonight. In terms of quality, Celtic so far ahead of their opponents here. But they wanted to show in terms of scoreline. And that was a little lapse in concentration, as Tierney allowed that out. And there's your answer. Jozo Šimunović unable to continue. Mikael Lustig replaces him.
Well, it's not ideal, but the concerns defensively continue to mount for Brendan Rodgers. Jozo Šimunović has been edgy at the start of this campaign, but still, when you've not got many options, you want all your players available, and losing Jozo Šimunović in that respect is a bad one for the Celtic manager.
I mentioned Hendry and Boyata. The one I didn't mention, of course, was Marvin Comper, who I think has become the forgotten man of Celtic Park.
Well, nothing's ever really spoken about as well, because I couldn't honestly tell you if he's injured or just not selected, Rob. He's just drifted away. Well, he's never really been here with the Celtic first team to have drifted away. So that, yeah, there's a clearly a short-term issue there, lack of numbers, but longer term as well. The quality that Celtic need and want in that central defence.
Here goes Tierney. Good one, Kieran Tierney. Support now from Johnston. This is Gamboa. Ncham. Dembele with a chance. And he lashes at it. And it should have been 2-1.
It really should have, Rob. That man there, Moussa Dembele, gets into a wonderful position, a great run and pass, but he just snatches at that. Very unlike Dembele. See that lovely slide rule pass and a nice first touch from Dembele here, just to set himself, and you're expecting him to go across Cardoom into the far corner. He just snatches it and puts it past the near side post. Another good opportunity for Celtic. Passed up.
Yeah, you were just looking for a low shot drilled across the goalkeeper there as the gap opened up at the far post. It would have been spectacular had it been right side of the post, but into the side netting it went from Dembele.
It was a really nice run. He arced his run, making sure that he was onside, and his countryman Olivier Ncham finding him with a nicely weighted slide rule pass.
Johnston with the step overs. Now Dembele. Tierney's cross cleared by Guy Rucic. And Celtic continuing to dominate possession. Gamboa, Brown. And Ayer switches it across to Tierney. Johnston, just a little bit too much on that for Dembele.
Not the worst idea from Mikey Johnson, and Moussa Dembele just making that wee run in behind. Just a little bit too much weight on the pass. But go back to that point earlier of just the killer instinct, the cutting edge lacking from Celtic, being clinical when they get into those areas.
Suddenly, An opportunity is opening up here for Suduva. The cut back and the shot and the save from Craig Gordon. It was Cecilia with an effort which was going in under the crossbar until it was turned over the top by Gordon.
They had men over here as the cut up back comes to Cecilia. In the end, it's a fairly routine save for a keeper of Craig Gordon's calibre. But, Cecilia gets the strike in goal. Slavichkas with a cut back. Craig Gordon with a comfortable save in the end, but they really shouldn't be getting into those areas.
Hooked away by Dembele. The whistle had gone for a handball, I think, inside the box. It goes Celtic's way. Well, it was a fairly comfortable save, you might say, for Craig Gordon, but what's worrying for Celtic is that opportunity arose in the first place, and Celtic looked pretty thin at the back.
Well, that was the point I was trying to make there, Rob, that it's not to suggest that Suduva don't deserve or aren't capable of getting into the defensive third of Celtic. It's the fact that he's on the edge of the box there, the whole defence backs off and he can get picked out and have a strike on goal when Celtic are so comfortable in this game. And the longer it goes 1-1 and the Celtic continue to pass up opportunities like they just passed up with Moussa Dembele's strike, the more confidence that Suduva gain and the more belief that they can perhaps get something out of this game.
Yeah, Celtic need to kill off the opposition, and it hasn't happened as yet. They might be light years ahead in terms of quality, but it's still that 1-1 scoreline, nearly 13 minutes into the second half. What a prospect for the future Mikey Johnston is. That's a bad touch by Gamboa. That's exactly what Celtic can ill afford. They don't want to invite Suduva back into this.
You know, Rob, with the best will in the world, it breeds frustration in the rest of the side as well when you continually shoot yourself in the foot, gift opportunities to the opponents.
And that shot at goal from Cecilia has done, at the moment, to Suduva what the goal did in the first half. It's just given them a little lift. It's given them a flooding of belief that they can compete here. And Celtic need to get control back.
It's not a foul for me. Cameron Rigger does well, gets back in and wins the ball. But you see Scott Brown saying there, the ball's dinked into Cecilia. He's got 20 yards of space, the defence are backing off.
Kasparavicius is the second switch for Vladimir Cheburin, the Suduva head coach. Two changes so far, and one for Celtic, that enforced change with Jozo Šiminović going off injured, and Mikael Lustig taking his place. Well, Vucevic is the player to go off. We've barely seen him in the game. Lofted in and headed away by Ayer. That's in Champ. Brown will tidy things up. Tierney clears. Oh, there's a bit of room there for Verbickas. The man whose header made it 1-1 in the first half. Past the hour mark in Lithuania. The substitute Kasparavicius with the cross. And another loose pass from Celtic. Brown always available. And Champ, McGregor.
For any young midfielder, Cal McGregor is a wonderful example of how to receive a ball in tight areas. Always well balanced, lets the ball roll across, opens the game up.
Here he is again. Very rarely gives it away. Tierney, great strike! And not far away.
There was a lot of venom in that strike from Kieran Tierney, the left back. As you see, Izagiri perhaps getting his instructions to come on. It'll be interesting to see what Brendan Rodgers does with the team, but you see Kieran Tierney, he put a lot into that strike. Just a little bit over. If the match director ever wants to show us the strike going over the crossbar.
Don't build up your hopes. Lee Griffiths was getting a word in his ear there as well, so it could be a double substitution coming up for Celtic. Possession lost. Slavichkas down the left side. That came off in charm. Defended by firstly Ayer and then Lustig. Just little moments of concern for Celtic.
Well, it's not a backline that fills you full of confidence at the moment, is it, Rob?
Gajducic with the cross. Lustig heads it away. Slavichkas with the cross. Tierney's header. He was waiting, was in charm, and the ball drops down for the substitute. Kasper Ivicius and Craig Gordon with a diving save.
Well, there's far too much pressure building up for Celtic and Brendan Rodgers likening Kasper Ivicius with the strike in the end. The save before from Craig Gordon was routine. This one, not so routine. As you see, Kasper Ivicius with the control in the chest and the shot down low. It's a good save from Craig Gordon.
For the first time in the match, Celtic under pressure. Dembele's header away. Bichkas wins the throw.
65 minutes into this game now, Rob, you get a sense of what your opposition are capable of, and this is a side that Celtic really should be putting to bed. They've started to come back into the game in the last 10 minutes here, but
those two changes we were talking about, Izagiri and Griffiths, about to be made. In comes the long throw, and booted clear by Incham, but only after the whistle had gone for an infringement. Celtic will now make their second and third changes of the game.
I see Gamboa coming off, and he's started to look a little bit of a liability defensively in the last wee spell. So perhaps perhaps Izagiri goes to the left and Tierney will tuck in, or are they going to go to a back three?
Well, certainly they can put Lustig at right back, can't they? And have Tierney and Ayer as the central defence if it sticks with a four. On comes Griffiths. Mikey Johnston has done really well.
He has, yeah. But I think they're going to go to a back three. It looked as if that was what Izagiri was saying. Yep, you see it. It looks to me as if it's a back three. Tierney, Ayer and Lustig, the back three. James Forrest and Emilio Izagiri, the wing backs, with Lee Griffiths and Moussa Dembele up top. But yeah, just a wee mention for Mikey Johnston. He has, his first start in Europe for Celtic, and one of the real positives there was the display. He drifted in and out of the game, but you expect that from a youngster, in particular a wide player. When he did have the ball, there was real moments of quality.
Yeah, when he was on the ball, you sensed something was about to happen. Created the opening goal after just a couple of minutes, and generally did his reputation no harm whatsoever. That's a foul given against Lee Griffiths. And whatever the personnel on the pitch now for Celtic, it's so important that they take charge of this again.
Yeah, because it started to drift away from them, the control.
Flicked on by Cecilia. Looking for Kasparavicius. Forrest for Brown. And McGregor. Izagirre losing his footing, but doing well to keep the ball. Played well at the weekend at Firhill. Ncham's pass for Forrest.
A lot of people will be disappointed with that ball from Olivier Nchamp, but you know what? It's the right idea. I like what he's trying to do there. He's waiting until James Forrest is up in line with the full-back so he can play the penetrative ball inside. Yeah, he doesn't execute it perfectly, but it's a really good idea from Nchamp.
I think that might go back to a certain incident during the first half as Verbickas clatters Scott Brown. So into the final quarter of this first leg we go. Second leg at Celtic Park next Thursday. 1-1 away from home is so often a very satisfactory scoreline in a European tie. But in terms of the difference in quality between these two teams, up to this point in the game, Celtic should be streets ahead.
They should be, and there's two ways to look at it, and I'm pretty sure Brendan Rodgers will be torn between the two if it were to finish 1-1. Happy that they're in a strong commanding position to qualify for the group stages, but concerned and disappointed that his side are not putting this team to the sword in a way that he would expect and hope would have been the case.
Forrest and Dembele combined, that was quality. Here's Nchamp, looking to pick out Griffiths. Change of gear from Nchamp. Useful ball in as well. And it drops for Dembele, and he was never really over that shot.
Yeah, it's a difficult one as it drops to Moussa Dembele to hit it on the volley and get it on target. I thought he had enough time to perhaps take a touch as it came to him on the edge of the box here. Just take the touch and set himself. He elects to have the first time strike, but you see as it comes to him here, I just think there's enough time to take that first touch, set himself properly, and then try and pick his spot on target.
Just about into the last 20 minutes of the match in Lithuania. A reshuffled Celtic backline. It's a familiar refrain.
Good play from Lee Griffiths. Really good hold-up play.
And now it's with James Forrest. Nchamp. Miscue on the left foot shot. Came straight back to him. McGregor and Izagirre. Callum McGregor can get in behind. Can he keep the ball in? Not quite, I don't think. Another tidy performance tonight, though, from Callum McGregor. Rarely lets Celtic down.
There's just a little example of where Celtic, I feel, just stepped off it a little bit of late. Cal McGregor goes and presses, but he was on his own. The reinforcements, the rest of the pack, just that yard or so slower to come in and support and put pressure on the next player. Eventually you see Izagiri sprinting in and putting under real good pressure, but Cal McGregor goes the next phase, just wasn't there on time to win the ball back high up the park.
McGregor, great run. Was he tripped? Yes, he was. Set piece opportunity for Celtic.
It's a really good bit of play from Cal McGregor, good footwork, and eventually there's no question that he gets brought down. Gaidashuk, the right-sided centre half.
Five in the box for Celtic, and Griffiths to deliver. "18 minutes of the 90 remaining. In from Griffiths. Well, he was trying his best, Christopher Ayer, to get on the end of that. There was a fair bit of grappling going on.
It looked awkward at the back post very early on. I think it was Lemonas and Christian Ayer in the back. It just looked awkward. You could just tell that the Norwegian wasn't comfortable. He wasn't able to get a free run at it. But at the same time, he didn't go down quickly.
Kieran Tierney finds Emilio Izagiri, and his cross is headed away. Encham. Dembele tried to squeeze that through. Still going, was his shirt pulled there, Moussa Dembele, as he was bearing down on the goalkeeper.
Well, eventually you see Dembele's got so many players around him, but he manages to bundle his way through. I don't think there was anything in it at the end, but just at the last moment, Dembele pulling out the tackle, not wanting to go in and challenge with the goalkeeper.
Celtic will expect to win comfortably at Celtic Park next Thursday, but they would like to have had that second leg as being pretty much academic, and it would have been had they won by a distance tonight. And for most of the game, you would have thought that's the way this should have panned out.
Well, that's the thing. You don't want to leave it up to just expecting something to happen. You want to make it happen now. The Celtic are more than capable of, but they've not been able to get that second goal, that real crucial second goal.
Still time. Encham with McGregor alongside. Tierney. Griffiths. There's Izagiri. Griffiths again. The cross was blocked. Tierney gets the better of Beachcas. Izagiri. Callum McGregor. Into the final 15 minutes, 1-1 in Lithuania. Brown and Encham. Given away by Olivier Encham. Cecilia loses out to Lustig. Still time for Celtic to get the sort of scoreline they deserve from this first leg. Just got a glimpse there of Brendan Rodgers out in the technical area. He was sat in the dugout for quite a chunk of this match.
14 minutes plus injury time is loads of time, but the concern is what has been happening right throughout this whole game, that the game's not been put to bed already. Celtic just need to keep trying to...
Oh, dangerous from Lustig.
Well, first of all, Rob, they need to just make sure they keep the back door closed and don't gift anything else away. And then keep probing, asking questions of the opponents and fashioning opportunities, because Lee Griffiths and Moussa Dembele are two guys that know their way to the back of the net.
That's Griffiths and Ncham. Forrest cuts inside. Dembele's layoff. Intended for Griffiths. Suduva get that clear. Wave after wave of Celtic attacks. But just that goal in the 3rd minute. Forrest rolls it back for Ncham. Kieran Tierney heading for the byline, but he's overrun it. Ever willing, the 21-year-old left wing back, but just gave himself too much to do that time.
Left centre half now, still finding himself up in those left wing areas, but yeah, when he picked it up on the edge of the box, thought he was going to hang the cross. He decided to try and get past the two defenders and get to the byline, get some penetration for the cutback, but just overran it.
"12 minutes to go in Lithuania, 1-1. Lustig, Ayer, Tierney. Celtic fans will hope the withdrawal of Simunovic was precautionary after he came down on his right ankle. Another injury absence for a central defender wouldn't be too clever. Ncham looking for Dembele, and Jankowskis did the defending, and there was an offside flag in any case. Just a yard off, Moussa Dembele. That was Lustig's header. Chadjanovic switching play across. Here he is again, the Montenegrin. And just that was too heavily hit for Svaljuga, sprinting down the right side. But Vladimir Cheburin, the Suduva head coach, will be delighted if his team comes out of this and heads for Glasgow with a 1-1 draw. Still a result which clearly favours Celtic. But when you're outplayed the way they've been tonight,
it gives them a fighting chance, Rob. And realistically, the Lithuanians, that's what they'll have been looking for, is to go into the second leg with a chance of getting something. And at 1-1, yes, it favours Celtic, but really on the balance of play, and we've spoken about it enough already, Brendan Rodgers and his Celtic players will know that they should have really put this tie to bed.
The ball lost by Incham, but he has it back now. McGregor asking a lot of Griffiths. Dangerous looking back pass. As the cameraman lost focus for a moment, but that was almost a gift for Griffiths.
Well, Lee Griffiths certainly didn't lose focus. He put some real pressure on the back line of Suduva there as he lines up to take the corner kick.
In it comes from Griffiths. James Forrest drags that well wide. Ruled out quite invitingly there for Forrest.
Oh, you compare it with the strike that he had on goal in the first half. The difference is the first touch sets him up early in the first half. Wonderful first touch with his right foot. He gets the strike with his left. That time when it comes to him at the edge of the box, his first touch just gets caught under his feet, and then he's racing against time to be able to get the strike off before he gets closed down, and in the end it's a really poor strike. He drags it well wide.
Here goes Forrest looking to create something this time. Stands it up beyond the back post, beyond Izagiri and Dembele. Up goes Scott Brown. Free kick given against him. Celtic looking to make European progress on the back of the disappointment of dropping out of the Champions League qualifiers. Dropping down a level, maybe quite a few levels in terms of quality when you look at the opposition tonight, but it's a big chance for them, one they want to snap up to get into the group stages of this competition.
Yeah, of course, because yes, it's the Europa League, it's not the Champions League, but as you said earlier on, Rob, the teams that are potentially involved in the the Europa League are huge European clubs, and it's a competition that Celtic will be desperate to do well in. And the way that things have started this season, Celtic and the manager is in need of a performance to try and just take away the focus and the attention on what is going on off the park. And unfortunately, this isn't a result that's going to help him to do that.
Celtic knocked out at the last 16 stage last season, and they'd like to go further if they could this season. But it's one step at a time. Izagiri booked for a raised hand.
It's not a booking. Yes, you know, for me, the way the ball bounces, he goes there to shield himself, to shield the ball. Yes, he catches Kajenovic, and okay, the referee can give the free kick, but it's not a yellow card as far as I'm concerned.
Into the last 5 minutes of the match we go in Lithuania. So important that Celtic keep full focus in these closing stages 1-1 is a disappointing scoreline for them in terms of the way the match has panned out, how much supremacy they've had against Suduva. They certainly don't want to be losing this first leg. And from a 1-1 situation, well capable, and that's an understatement, of cruising through next week at Celtic Park.
Yeah, and it's ludicrous that we're even, contemplating that as a scenario. Still time though for Celtic to get a second goal.
Tierney. Izagiri in pursuit. Gajducic hacks it away.
That's silly from Emilio Izagiri.
Especially when he's been booked.
There's no need to challenge in the corner there, because they're going nowhere. Gajducic plays it around the corner to Sverluja. And there's absolutely no way that Sverluga's got a chance of doing anything with it other than knocking it out for a throw-in or giving you the ball back.
Matulevicius is going to get the final few minutes of the match for Suduva. I think it's fair to say that the Lithuanian league leaders haven't underplayed a challenge, a physical challenge from Celtic in the course of this match. They tend to make a meal of it. And right on cue. Apologies if there's you pick up any fruity language in the background.
And it wasn't Lithuanian.
It wasn't, definitely wasn't. Celtic at home to Hamilton on Sunday in the Ladbrokes Premiership. And then it's next Thursday for the second leg of this one to hopefully get the job done. And they should do it with a bit to spare.
That's good play from Kieran Tierney down the left. But when the ball gets thrown at the box, Suduva have got their three centre-halves along the 6-yard box, and there's no Celtic player there going to attack the ball.
Finally, that change is going to be made. Matulevicius is the player coming on, and it's the Suduva goal scorer Verbickas who's coming off. A horror moment defensively for Celtic at the free kick from Slavickas. A switch off defensively, and the goal which levelled things up. Just about inside stoppage time.
I can't make my mind up whether it's the surface or whether it's the actual ball, Rob, but it's not been able to play true. Sometimes these balls can be slightly egged, and that's the way it looks sometimes, the way it rolls, just bounces up.
3 minutes being added as Forrest sets off to get in behind one last time and force the corner off Slavickas. One good Griffiths delivery, maybe one last chance for Celtic to score again, and it bounces over the top from Christopher Ayer.
Well, this time it's a really good crossing. Great corner from Lee Griffiths, and you see there, Christopher Ayer around the back post. He gets
the Dembele in the end. It was Moussa Dembele coming in behind him who got his head to that, and just about any contact you would have reckoned from there would have taken that in.
You've got better eyes than me, Rob, because I still thought that was Christopher Ayer, but one of the two, a great opportunity to get that in at the back post after a good corner from Lee Griffiths to the back post area.
That would have made Celtic feel a whole lot better about their night's work in Lithuania had that gone in for 2-1. There's no cause for panic, certainly. This is a tie which Celtic should win with a bit of style. It would be a major shock if they couldn't beat Suduva and get to those group stages at Celtic Park next Thursday night. We're into the final minute of stoppage time. Scott Brown doing some late ball winning. Closing thoughts, Michael?
What could have been? A lot of opportunities being passed up from Celtic, and when you don't take your chances and shoot yourself in the foot defensively, it ends up being a situation like this, where they've dominated the game and it looks as if they're coming away 1-1. In the bigger picture, they're in a good position to still go through, though.
That's Dembele looking for Ncham, no way through. Cecilia against Lustig. And that is full time in Lithuania. A 1-1 final score. And Celtic still firm favourites to get to the group stages of the Europa League. But tonight could have been so different for Brendan Rodgers and his team had Celtic taken their opportunities and kept the back door shut at the same time. We'll have our final closing thoughts, show you some of the highlights of the game,